A safe jump is a jump attack you do on an opponent's wake up in a way that if they do an invincible reversal, you block it. If they mash, they get hit. And if they block, you just do your pressure sequence. For this video, I will be explaining how to find auto-timed safe jump setups. Auto-timed means it will be consistent. As long as you do the setup properly, there is no risk of failing the safe jump and getting hit, unlike manually timed safe jumps. Safe jumps in City of the Wolves are not as strong as they are in most games. That is because of the guard cancel system and due to how Air Invincible break moves work. I will talk more about it later. The fastest invincible DPs in the game have 5 frames of startup. In order for a safe jump to work against them, you will need a hard knockdown that leaves you with enough frame advantage to set it up. The frame advantage you need for 5 frame safe jumps for most of the cast is plus 39 for a normal jump, plus 34 for a hop, the sole exception is Tizoc. He needs plus 40 for a safe jump, and plus 35 for a safe hop. To find an auto-timed safe jump for your character, first of all, open the training menu, go to the display tab and turn on the frame meter. With the frame meter, you can see the total duration of frames of your attack. For instance, if you look at the meter after I use Giz's Farlight Punch, it says 19 at the end. This means that the move has 19 frames of total duration. This information will be useful in a bit. Now go into the Reversals tab, switch here until it says down, and make sure all slots are off. All Rev Blows give a hard knockdown on hit, so let's try to find a safe jump from a mid-screen combo that ends in a Rev Blow. Set your restart point to the corner with your character having their back to the corner. Do a combo ending in your Rev Blow, either grounded or in the air. Then, after the Rev Blow connects, open the menu, go to the Recordings tab, go down to Save Current Frame and hit Confirm. This will create a save state. Now, every time you press your Load Saved Frame button, it will load you into that save state. Now, load your save and check frame advantage. As you can see, for Giz, he is plus 74 after this combo. And since I know I need to be plus 39 for a safe jump, let's do a quick subtraction. 74 minus 39 equals 35. So this means I need to waste 35 frames so I can be plus 39, thus getting a safe jump. In this case in particular, I need to waste 35 frames and move a bit forward while doing it, so that my jump can reach the opponent. Once again, looking at the frame meter, you can see how many total duration frames your moves, your dashes and your jumps have. After testing, I found out that the light version of Giz's Rai Mei Shin special is exactly 35 frames of total duration, and it also moves him a tiny bit forward. So let's test it out. First, I will load my save state and do light Rai Mei Shin after the Rev Blow. And to make sure that it is consistent, I will do it a couple of times. As you can see, it is consistent. I am always plus 39 after doing that, but there is a chance to do it wrong if I input the special move too late. I can prevent that from happening by using the button hold trick. If you look at my inputs, you can see that I'm doing the motion for the special a bit early after the Rev Blow connects. And after I do the motion, you can see that I'm holding down the light kick button. By doing this, I can guarantee that my special move will come out in the first possible frame every time. I will talk more about the button hold trick in another video. So, knowing I am plus 39 doing the setup, all I have to do is jump, do an attack and see if it hits my opponent. Perfect, it reaches and hits my opponent, so now I have a mid-screen safe jump that will work against pretty much all reversals in the game. One thing to note, however, is that depending on the combo, your frame advantage after the Rev Blow will change, and this may result in the setup failing. You can see that this is pretty much the same combo as the previous one, but by adding 2 extra Rev Arts into it, the setup leaves me plus 40 instead of plus 39. This means the safe jump will no longer work. So keep that in mind when labbing safe jump setups for your character. Depending on the combo, the height, the starter, the frame advantage may change and mess up your setup. Also, sometimes you simply cannot get enough frame advantage to set up a safe jump. In this example, I will do a combo ending in Giz's Air Rev Blow. This leaves me plus 47, so I need to waste either 8 frames for a safe jump or 13 frames for a safe hop. This simply is not possible. Giz does not have anything that is 8 or 13 frames total duration. I still have enough frame advantage to manually time a safe jump, but I am at risk of messing it up. Sometimes your character cannot safe jump mid-screen, but they can do it in the corner. Still using Giz as an example, the following combo leaves him plus 52. So if after the super I do his feint, which is 18 frames total duration, I am plus 34. That's a safe hop. However, mid-screen the opponent is half a continent away, so of course hopping here won't do shit. In the corner, however, yeah, it works. So keep all that in mind and remember to use the save current frame function when labbing your safe jumps. Now that you found your safe jump, let's practice it. First, go into the recordings tab, start a new recording and try to hold back for a moment and then switch to down back. Now go back to the reversals tab and in the down section, go to slot 1, change to action and hit confirm. On the list, go down to Recordings and pick the recording you just made. Then, set the dummy to do a light punch in the second slot, an invincible DP in the third, and a super in the fourth. Now just do your safe jump setup and try to get consistent with it. For safe jumps, hold up and forward after your setup, and for safe hops, hold Rev, up and forward after your setup. In both cases, once your character jumps, start holding back. If the dummy blocks, do your pressure sequence. If the dummy gets hit, do a combo. If the dummy does a super or a DP, you will automatically block it, so just try to do a proper punish afterwards. Earlier I mentioned that safe jumps in City of the Wolves are not as strong as in most games. That is because they have some pretty strong counterplay. First of all, any character with an invincible DP can do DP break on wake up if they realize you are going for a safe jump. DP break is not fully invincible, however, it is invincible against air moves from the first frame. So when used against a safe jump, the attacker defends the DP break and the defender is -2. Negative, but safe. Even some moves that are technically not DPs, but are invincible against air moves and can be breaked, will have the same effect against a safe jump. Of course, this might not be that useful depending on the character. But I figured I should mention it anyways. Plus, if the defender guard cancels into a DP break on wake up, they can also really limit what the attacker can do. If I just autopilot this pressure in the safe jump, a guard cancel DP break will counter hit launch me. And also, a guard cancel 0 frame will straight up punish safe jump attempts. Of course, there are ways the attacker can deal with all of that. There are option selects that, depending on your character, you can do to beat wake up DP break while still beating invincible DPs and supers. You can also try to do fake safe jump setups, or anti-jump into a 4 frame close light to counter hit opponents doing DP break on wake up. And if your opponent is consistently doing guard cancels on wake up, they are opening themselves up to get hit by other things. So, seeing as this video is already quite long as it is, I will be talking more about option selects and anti-safe jump stuff in future videos. At the earlier level online, most of your opponents won't be doing that stuff, even if they know how, until you start showing them a safe jump or two. So you can worry about option selects and all that stuff later. For now, try to learn at least one safe jump or safe hop for your character. Having it will help you start running your offense or finish up a round. I have won quite a few matches against opponents online who had way better neutral and conversions than me, just because they refused to block safe jumps on their wake up. That's it for this video, thanks for watching.